to the MindTour Gaming stream. This afternoon on Monday, we're going to play Beyond Forgotten Realms here, MindTour Gaming, as I run a group of adventurers through the Forgotten Realms, currently in Cormyr, with an individual by the name of Zan Badrin, leading the Grey Lantern Huntsman, back from a hunt, almost about a week now, getting close to that end of things as far as the timeline goes. Our friends and companions here capturing Liv Shana, an escaped prisoner from the Wayloon prison, and on the way returning her. So far, we've dealt with some of Symbia, walked through Darloon, made a couple friends there, and possibly enemies, as well as moving through the southern part of Symbia along the way of the Manticore, now past the Dark Flow, where a number of troops resided on the Cormyrian line there, seeming to prepare for something. But anyone here have any insight they would like to add from their character's experience along the way after delving into some sort of underground structure or temple and finding strange creatures below, or anything else?
This is probably the first time anyone has seen Kaz not be overconfident and sort of like take a step back and be like, we shouldn't be here right now.
Okay. Yeah. That definitely showed through as some of the things transpiring down there. Does Corvin have anything on his mind after, especially after overhearing some of what Alokian had to say to one of the Dragon Knight recruits?
Oh yeah, I don't think he necessarily heard him spill the beans.
Okay.
I would say probably wasn't paying because at that point, Alokian had been talking about his god for a long time, so I'm sure Corvin was probably drowning him out. But Corvin is definitely he's trusting the rest of his allies more. He's starting to notice kind of growing with them together. So
Growing amongst the group.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Oh, apparently I have my Monday night potion prepared. It looks like there's a... Yeah, that's the Jolly Rancher. It's very
Nice.
it's very green, just so y'all know.
Very nice.
Oh wow, that's sour and it's very good. Thank you very much, potion seller. My local potion seller.
Definitely.
Bless me with this radioactive goodness. All right, Belkin. Anything on Belkin's mind, especially in that moment where Belkin took his blade to lift Shauna's knife?
He was just really tempted to. Well, he knows that she's the one that's messing with his sleep and dreams, and he's the type of guy that weighs options and only goes with the more preferable one. And it might be one of the few times where a good night's sleep and no nightmares outweighed gold and treasure and such like that. So, but luckily, our leader Zion was there to keep him steady and
Do you think the experience that Belkin's going through is playing with his sanity at all, especially with like having that sort of restless sleep? Would that draw on his mental fortitude, do you think?
I think it's starting to get to him. Like there's small flashers in confidence and boisterous nature,
Okay.
but he's still gonna try to be the person that he is. Yeah.
Makes sense. Alokian, do you have anything you'd like to glean upon?
Not too much. Mostly, just think he's pretty satisfied with how his conversation went with the guard, the Dragon Knight.
All right.
Glad to have converted somebody, or at least got the wheel in motion for conversion.
Now, I know Ken had to step away a little bit from last session due to, COVID shots. Would anyone like to share a little bit of what happened for Andrew? For Kaz?
Yeah. So we were traveling, and we attempted to hide the armor, the purple Dragonite armor that Corvin was wearing, as well as the shield with the purple Dragonite emblem that I had on Alokion. We hid the shield in the bag of holding, and Corvin decided to just cover the armor that he was wearing. We came across a patrol or like a checkpoint with purple Dragon Knights, and everything seemed to be going pretty well until the very end, where Zan came back with the leader of the patrol, I believe, or the leader of the checkpoint, and they were questioning Corvin on what he was wearing, and they decided that they needed the armor back.
And he told the truth, Kaz. He told the truth. He ain't used the decree at all, man. Very
Now-
very
Too late at
disappointing.
that point, I felt like
Pointed. Very, very.
we should have
So
gone
yeah.
in with that strategy, I guess.
in return for the armor, and they gave him a replacement set of plate that was not purple Dragonite, so that was very kind of them. And also Alokian might have spilled the beans as to where the rest of the treasure was and where we found the body, but minor details.
Very minor.
I agree, Kaz.
You
I agree.
sent a lot of people to their death.
Well, he told him not to go to the
did.
Gorgon or past that point.
true.
I told him, I specifically said, you don't want to go any further than where the body is. Retrieve the body of your friend and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, that's
If you
not
go
so
any
bad.
further, you're gonna wind up in trouble. So I did warn them. My conscience is clear.
Very good.
Mind, random question. Did that longsword I found, was that purple in nature too? Like,
It looked like a very well made longsword. After dusting some of the surface rust and grime that was on it off. It is a masterwork longsword, but there was no insignia or anything on the weapon itself.
okay. I guess did they know? I guess did they ask for it? Would
They
have asked for
They
it?
did not ask for the longsword, the weapon.
Okay. I guess I'll just hold on to it then.
It seems their focus was the armor or other things. That.
Okay.
But if everyone's ready, we'll set the stage. As the group of you finally were able to go over the bridge across the dark flow, past the checkpoint where the purple dragon knights were holding that line there on the other side of the dark flow itself. The caravan moves through the small tent city now as large purple and white tents pop up around the center part of the road, and then smaller tents along the outskirts. You can see hundreds of individuals here in varying different armors anywhere from plate all the way down to nothing. You even see a larger purple tent that has plumes of different small wisps of smoke coming from the center point. And there, you also see unarmored, wearing purple robes and gold trim, moving in and about that area as well. None of them, from this distance, you can't tell if they have any smaller arms, but they're not carrying anything like long swords or great swords of that sort, or even lances for that matter. Most of this army looks well kept. A lot of their armor's polished, their clothing's as they're moving around through mud, obviously their boots have mud on them, but most of their clothes are fairly clean. It seems like they're running a tight ship here. But the sun is setting in the west ahead of you, and the caravan moves on through this encampment and west along the way of the Manticore. Unless anyone wishes to do anything else, we'll continue on. Zan turns and looks to the group of you. I guess that was as good as to be expected.
Yes. At least they replaced the armor and even gave us a reward. Well worth it.
And Velokian, you still have the shield, yeah?
I believe it is in the bag. If you'd like to give it back, or actually, perhaps we should.
He
keep it in the
turns
bag
and looks back to the encampment. Let us get a little ways away first.
Yes.
That way we have to make up a new story how we found it out here in the middle of nowhere.
It was lying in the road.
Very good. You see Liv Shauna, she's still at the back of the cage, still looking around, looking towards the encampment. She looks fairly alert right now, especially as the sun begins to set. But the horses move on, pulling the caravan further away from the encampment. The signs of bonfires and campfires amongst the encampment shining behind you a ways, but it slowly begins to fade. And as it does, the sun finally begins to set on the horizon. All of you can see here at the edge of the southern part of this mountain range, on the western side in the direction that you're heading, a lot of the terrain there on the horizon begins to turn to twisted looking trees, brambles, muddy water amongst the ground, as the southern part of the vast swamp is now in view. If anyone wants to, they can roll a history check about the vast swamp if they're trained in it.
23.
All right.
13.
Okay. Kaz, you've heard of the vast swamp. It's a large swamp within Cormier's territory. There are a number of different ruins in there from past histories of kingdoms that rose and fell from different barons and noblemen. So that might please your mind as you think about what has sunk in there throughout time. Alokian, you know and heard of this different territories within the vast swamp, but a lot of the vast swamp and entities that now reside in there are barbarians, wild creatures, many different tribes, orcs, goblins, lizardmen, and bollywogs as well. It's pretty wild because of the nature of the vast swamp. Some sort of magic after the spell plague twisted it even further beyond what it was before, and entities and creatures and things within the vast swamp slowly become mutated over time and changed in different ways. It's a interesting quirk of the vast swamp and what it does to entities that live and reside there. You also recall that there were a group of individuals that followed Shar. If you don't remember from last game, we talked about this a little bit from Lokian's learning in the past from the Dark Lady. There was some ruins within the vast swamp that they brought people that had magical talents in there to actually mutate them and open a gate into the Shadowfell. From what you recall, it was probably a couple hundred years ago, maybe 150 years ago or so, but they were thwarted. They were stopped, and whatever they were doing had been cut off, and finally the Purple Dragon Knights actually got involved and were able to eradicate that threat within the vast swamp. One particular tribe of lizardmen, the Shadow Scales, were helping these individuals to open this gate into the Shadowfell, with promise of power, of course, like anything else. But that's what's to the northwest of the Way of the Manticore currently. To the south is still somewhat forested and hills, and beyond that, the Dragon Mire, the Lake of the Dragons, not too far away. But the group of you continue to travel westward, as Zan wishes to push a little bit further to find either a good spot for the evening or perhaps to get to Battle Rise. Battle Rise, well, Zan will ask the group of you, I suppose. Do we wish to stay to the wilds here, or perhaps find a small inn in Battle Rise? It's a small town, hamlet, as it was never able to grow too big due to the wild creatures and tribes within the vast swamp. I've stopped there a few times. There's a fairly well protected inn there.
If you think it'll be safe, we could attempt to get there. Do you think we can make it as well?
It's probably only a couple hours away.
I am impartial either way.
You know, I always prefer the comfort of civilization.
Well, let's see if we can find a good spot, and if not, we'll stop at Battle Rise. Get a quick rest. I know the horses wouldn't mind probably being stabled for the night.
Yes, the horses have been through a lot. Perhaps just for their sake, we should go to Battle Rise.
We pushed them pretty good. I'd like to probably clean them up a bit as well. Check their shoes. And he hits the reins, continues pushing forward as the sun drops below the horizon. The night sky is slightly cloudy, but not any large rain clouds or anything ahead. Stars are bright this evening as the moon slowly beginning to gain more and more from the sliver it was and grow. Someone roll me a d20, please.
You got it.
A 12, let's see. Okay. those of you that are looking out, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
4.
20.
Oh,
6.
9 for me, and 16 for Tomoe.
okay. Tomoe, you get a bit of excitement come from Tomoe as you can see her up ahead following the road as you normally allow her to lead a few hundred feet ahead. And you feel that bit of excitement as the sounds begin to permeate in her ears. You see her head turn to the right, looking off the path, and she begins to swoop that way. Alokian, you hear what sounds like kittens meowing. And off the path, probably a good ways, in the brambles and thorns and briars of the swamp, as the edge of the swamp is there, you hear the sounds of what sounds like maybe a couple kittens meowing, as if they're perhaps calling for their mother lost. You get that vibe as you hear with your keen senses. You don't see them, as wherever they are, they seem quite hidden.
Do you
Tomoe
guys hear that?
continues to the northern part of where you are and begins to circle.
Does
And
anyone
where
else
she's
hear that?
circling, that's where you're hearing the sound.
Hear what?
There's kittens meowing. I swear I can hear them.
Then
Faintly.
the sound seems somewhat frantic.
They're in danger, I think.
Do you perhaps wish to find the kittens stuck in a tree somewhere?
They sound like they need help. It's just a thought we could offer such help. And should only take a moment and not too far. Somewhere in the distance. Anybody want to help me save some kittens?
Very well.
Zan
Did
says,
provide the assistance with the young ogre. Least I can do.
another wayward creature then. You wish to help.
It's in my nature.
I'll keep the caravan moving, and perhaps you'll just catch up.
Perhaps I will, perhaps I won't. This new armor that I have seems to have slowed me down.
Yeah, and everyone sees the caravan begin to pull on the side and slow and stop.
Great. Yes.
Find your kittens.
I will find the kittens and I will save them. And I will have a new set of armor from the kitten's father. Well then.
And
gods,
hear them.
shall we?
Meow, 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 meow.
Uh,
You show me a kitten that can lift plate mail, my friend, and I will show you a lion.
I've seen stranger things.
Corvin will go with you guys.
Okay.
Come, Corvin.
Yes, I'll come with you.
I know you love kittens.
You know me so well. Kind of rolls his eyes, but
All right.
he'll draw his great sword.
You draw your.
Broken, would you mind keeping an eye on the prisoner, Razan?
Belkin,
Sure.
if you wish to go with them, I can watch her. And he ties the horses off to one of the smaller trees on the side of the road and goes to the back side of the caravan.
No, that's okay. I'll just in case. I'll stay behind.
All right.
You know the secret call if danger arrives.
Sure.
Apparently, it's just the sound of kittens that would draw Loki in anywhere.
Yes, just make sounds like a kitten, and I will come running.
I will do my
Can
best.
you make a kitten sound? Just practice for me.
No, I don't want to confuse you. You know, just in
Fair.
case.
Very well. I will just trust that you can make a kitten noise. Very well. Let's go rescue these kittens.
Okay.
Right.
So the group of you leave the way of the Manicore and begin to head off in a northwestern direction where Alokian hears these kittens. In that direction, you see Tomoe just kind of circling, going lower and lower, as there is a bit of excitement exuding from her, as it looks like she's prepared for a hunt on a moment's notice.
Yeah, she can eat the kittens.
Yep.
I'm
And
going to telepathically tell her to find the kittens and bring them to me unharmed.
okay,
I lost a cousin to a bird fight before. We were eating breakfast and it's poof, gone.
all right. You see, in the direction you're heading, there's a slight slope off the road and down into this more muddy, swampy area. It's not too wet or muddy here yet, but you can feel the earth just kind of sink with each step you take. The grass is wiry, growing out of the ground. A lot of wiry brambles and some thorns here and there. That you can see. You guys roll me a survival check as you're stepping off into the swamp. There are trees here, but some of them are more whippy looking and with dark black leaves on them, as there's some black willow trees within the
Are
swamps.
we all rolling one, or is it just like whoever's leading?
Whoever's leading the group, but you can help the leader if you wish.
I rolled a 19.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I rolled a 7.
All right. Who's leading the way into the swamp? I'll allow Kaz or Alokian, as both of you have a sense of direction to head, especially you, Kaz.
Yeah, I don't mind leading.
Okay.
Just because I know that I get the sense that Tomoe knows where they are.
Yes. So you step off into the mud and begin to go into the beginnings of the vast swamp there. You push your way through some of these wiry vines and whatnot, and you can see some of the thorns here have small berries beginning to grow, and as red berries are all across many of these thorny vines. But you push your way through and find a path as best as possible. It seems like you've come across a game trail that's sort of heading that way. It's slightly lower than normal, but you push your way past through and follow this game trail that's actually going in the direction that Tomoe is. You see Tomoe swoop down and come back up, looking like as if there's nothing in her grasp currently. She circles again as you push your way in that direction. Another moment, she swoops down again. And once again, coming up empty-handed.
How far away is she?
So for that, let's say that she was probably about 150 feet away, and now you're about 80 feet or so from her, circling in the sky ahead of you. You can't quite tell where she's swooping down at yet, but you're getting there. And the group of you continue on and finally break some of the thorns and brambles that are there and these low-hanging, weeping black willow trees, and push your way through where it kind of opens up slightly. And you see a lot of mud up ahead, pockets of water, black, inky water. And where Tomoe is circling, it looks like a pile, large dome pile of branches, long grass and weeds, and a lot of these black willows look like as if they were cut off and then laid across one another to make these small little domes. And you can see her kind of swooping down in that direction, Aloki, and you hear inside those small bramble domes the sounds. Everyone else beyond Kaz, you don't hear them. Kaz, you do hear them at this point, but Belkin and Corvin, you don't hear anything yet. But you do see the owl continuing to try to swoop down at these small domes.
So, start approaching the domes then.
Okay. You can feel your feet sinking a little bit more as you push in. Kaz, you can tell that you need to be careful up ahead. A lot of this swamp that you're getting into now is could probably sink beneath, especially heavily armored individuals or any sort of weight here.
I do very much recommend minding your footing as we press further, especially those of more weighed down nature.
Right, slowly then.
All right. Everyone that's going ahead, go ahead and make me either an athletics or an acrobatics check as you're trying to step through the swamp, finding your footing, making sure you don't step into a muddy hole or pit.
13.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
16.
All right. So, Corvin and Kaz, you're finding your way along just fine, making sure that you don't step into any holes. But then, all of a sudden, you see a Lokian slip, and his foot begin to just sink straight into the mud and muck there. He begins to sink up to his waist as he does fall deep into the swamp. Lokian, go ahead and make me a reflex save as you do begin to sink into the swamp to see if you can grab onto something before you continue.
Buddy plays Pathfinder.
Will that just be dexterity?
Dexterity saving throw.
$20.
Lokian grasp onto some grass and mud, his hands and fingers digging into the mud there. You're now quite wet and muddy, Alokian, as you're trying to pull yourself out of this mud, but you feel as if like the mud itself is just like sucking you down into itself, like as you're sinking, as it's beginning to make a suction.
Corvin will grab him
Okay.
and start pulling him out.
Go ahead and make a strength check as you try to pull the muddy Alokian from the swamps.
Ooh, 10.
All right. Unable to get him out of the mud quite yet as your hands are slipping in the slick, muddy hole that he's in. Alokian, you can also make a strength check if you wish with advantage because of Corvin trying to help you currently.
$11.
Unable to pull yourself out of this hole, you feel as if it's pulled you slightly more now that the mud is at the lower part of his chest as he's being sucked into the mud itself.
Come now. If Fools needn't try to do everything on your own. And I will reach into the bag of holding, take out 50 feet of rope, tie like a loose noose around it to whip around him,
Okay.
and start tugging to assist.
All right. So for this round, whoever wishes to roll can make the strength check again with advantage.
I will do it. Hopefully rolling better this time.
I'm not gonna partake.
You're just gonna lay there.
16.
In his
16.
best interest to relax.
Yep, and with a you pull him right out of the mud finally and back on to the somewhat hardened earth. You can see Alokian has this black, stinking mud from the bottom of his chest all the way down. You feel it just kind of oozing in, the cold just oozing in beneath your clothing, Alokian. It's sticky, it's stinky, and it feels disgusting.
Oh, terrible. Oh, God,
Hopefully-
just awful.
Hopefully the cats are worth it. And I'll kind of help him up, like grab him by the armor and kind of lift him up.
All right.
It'll all be worth it in the end. I assure you.
Will it? Okay.
But with Kaz and Corvin's help, you find a decent path to traverse this area of the swamp to those small domes. Each of you can see, well, as you get closer, now you're about 20 feet or so from these domes. Still, the owl, Tomoe, is circling, trying to get down towards whatever's on the inside of it, and you can see small little holes or makeshift like entranceways and exits among each of these domes on multiple ends of them. And beneath, inside, you can hear the sounds of a couple sounds of meowing.
Shall we see who is home?
Yeah,
So-
are they bigger, like, or they're pretty small?
The domes are probably about only a couple feet in diameter,
Okay.
and like a half circle, a half sphere, and there's 3 of them in total. But only one of them have any sounds coming from within them.
I'll approach the one has sounds coming from it, and I'll just
Okay.
kind of get on all fours and peek into the hole.
You get on all fours and peek into the hole, and you see a number of feathers all across the floor. You see bits of fur, patches here and there. Roll me a perception check as you're looking inside as well.
What were these domes made out of?
Just different grasses and pieces of the bramble that's nearby. It looks like some sort of nest.
21.
21. Inside, you see 2 very small, what looks like kittens inside. One of them is a stormy gray color that gets lighter at like the chest area and its feet. The other one is almost jet black with yellow eyes peering out at you as they do watch you approach, and the meowing begins to stop and you hear a low come from inside. You also see what looks like more pieces of fur, as if it was torn apart, thrown here and there. You see the signs of what looks like a struggle happened on the inside of this dome, as you see broken bits of sticks, the mud flung all over the place. And on the other side, you see another entrance or exit there, and that one looks like it was kind of torn open slightly.
So, think a Lokian would maybe deduce that something broke in and maybe killed their parent.
Okay.
I'll just try to like reach out
Oh.
gently, slowly.
I'll give you one more thing because you rolled pretty well with your perception check.
Sure.
You can tell where their shoulder blades are. You see tight up against their body 2 sets of wings, similar to the color of their fur off their back that's pressed against their back. Roll a knowledge nature check. Or even Arcana.
Oh, doesn't matter, same thing. 6.
They look like cats with wings on them.
Yes, they do. Yeah, still, I'll try to reach out slowly, gently, just kind of like letting them smell me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an animal handling check as you're trying to convince these things to smell you.
20.
20. Oh, we lost someone. We'll give him a moment. A 20. You put out your hand, and do you say anything to him?
I'll just kind of, shh, it's okay.
The gray one almost instantly perks up as you're there. You can almost hear the sound of its heartbeat just beating out of its chest as it seems severely stressed and scared. And then it moves forward, and you feel its head press up against your hand. Its eyes close, and after a moment or two, it begins to purr.
So I will use the speech of plant and beast, or the Firbolg ability, and I'll just say gently now. I am a friend. No need to panic. I'm here to help.
The small, fluffy gray one moves further and presses its back up against your arm and begins to curl and circle around your hand. The black one begins to bolt out the back and run. Everyone that's standing up can see out of the back a dark just flash as this creature begins to run and make it into the grass as it begins to run away. Tomoe.
Tomoe, fetch. Gently.
And you see Tomoe go into the grass where the black one disappeared to and rise up out of the grass, a black form flailing in her talons.
Oh no. Bring them here.
All right. She begins to turn around. The cat, the winged cat in her talons, begins to try to claw and bite at her, but is currently unable to. As she turns and approaches Kaz, Alokian, the one that is currently in your hand, its fear begins to rise again as you feel the purring quickly begin to stop as it looks behind and see the black one run away.
No, shh. It's okay. It's okay. We're here to protect you. It's okay.
It hides beneath your large hand.
I'll just kind of gently grasp it and try to bring it out of the
Okay.
dome.
She seems to go along with you just fine. Doesn't seem to try to run or bolt. Tomoe approaches Kaz, and the cat falls from its talons toward you. Go ahead and try to make a dexterity check to try to catch the cat.
Nine.
And just before the cat falls just close enough for you to grab it, its wings open up and it glides away further over your head and then hits the grass and the mud with a splat.
Oh. All right now. It's going to be all right.
It's probably about 30 feet behind you now.
I'm going to Misty Step to its location.
Okay.
And as I appear grappling it.
Okay. You appear there. Go ahead and make a just a melee attack for me to see if you can try to grab the cat.
Sure. 8.
And quickly it rolls out of your grasp and continues to bolt into the grass further into the swamp.
This is going well.
You having trouble with that one, Cuz?
And you you can see Alokian already has one, kind of nulls it up to his chest, petting it.
It would appear that I am. Belkin, you're small and nimble.
Belkin's back at the caravan.
Oh, he didn't come with us. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Don't worry. Your assistance again, if you would.
Just keep hunting this cat with your bird.
Trying not to.
She begins to circle, but you get this feeling of disappointment as you can see her looking around, but now unable to find it.
Would appear the other is lost.
Can I attempt to see if I can see it?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
11.
You look around. The cat was fairly dark. It was black in color. Wherever it is, it's pretty well hidden.
It seems that one does not want to be found. I'll kind of look down at the one that I have and just say, your sibling is quite evasive.
It's just purring, reverberating against your chest.
If nothing else, you were at least able to rescue the one.
Or
The other, I fear, may be lost to nature.
rescue the one or split up a family. We'll kind of do a little smirk. And then he's going to walk over. Is he able to, like, pick up these nests and look inside?
Sure.
So he'll pick up the one and kind of look inside.
The one that they were in?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You pick it up and look inside. There's a number of pieces of fur, what looks like feathers, broken sticks. You also can roll a perception check.
Perception. 3.
Yeah, other than that, that's all you see really in that space. This was a nest, and it looked like something happened in there. Alokian, as Corvin does pull away the top of the nest, you can see what looks like large circular grooves in the mud and the ground in and around the nest now, as if something very large and cylindrical slithered in and out of these nests.
I believe that their homes were trashed by some sort of serpent.
And the
Seems
the
like
size
he's,
of this, whatever this creature was probably at the thickest, 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide diameter.
A large serpent. I
Hmm.
would assume that these kittens, or whatever they are orphaned. We will hope for the best with the other.
And now that
We shall take.
everyone that can see what a Lokian's holding, you can also roll Nature or Arcana. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Hoping I roll better. I got a 1. I roll better when I start doing things I'm good at.
15.
With a 15, you've heard rumors of winged cats that live within Cormyr. In particular, they're called Tressum. They're a magical beast that were created long ago. Somewhat sacred in as they are revered to seem to have a connection. Well, most cats in Cormyr have a connection. Well, most people believe they have a connection with the gods, but especially the Tressum, as they are the eyes to the gods and goddesses.
It is well we did show up. Luck may be in our favor now going forward. These here are, well, the one which remains is a Tressum. They are, from my understanding, incredibly close to the gods. Magical
gift.
creature in nature.
A gift from Ilmater, then.
Does Ilmater provide gifts that are wounds?
Perhaps he does, in the form of winged cats.
Or perhaps in the form of a nice supper. He'll smile.
You
Corbin
would
comes-
not dare.
I would definitely think about it. If they were bigger, and he's going to go over and check the other 2 nests.
Oh, I would not recommend that, friend.
Well, like I said, if they were bigger,
You
not
lift.
worth it. Meat
This
or
one's
something.
gray, right?
It's like a stormy gray color in its base and gets lighter towards the tips of its fur and feathers. You pick up the tops of the nest, the other 2 nests, and similar scenes are there as feathers and fur everywhere, as well as a number of grooves in the ground wherever these creatures or creature went through and probably had a dinner.
Okay.
So it
Well,
seemed
you
like there
saved-
was a larger number of these small creatures that were here at one time.
And how big is this kitten?
It's probably about a foot long currently. It looks very small. If you had to guess, well, with your nature roll, you're not quite sure how old it is. With your Arcana roll, Kaz, I'll give you, it might be about a month or 2 old, so fairly young.
Very, very young Tressum indeed. Befriend him well.
Wonderful.
Treat you well.
I will name you Cloud.
It begins to like nibble on your finger as it feels comfortable in your giant hand, protecting it.
Well, Cloud, what do you say? You come on an adventure.
You feel the vibration coming from it.
Welcome to the party, Cloud.
And I'll kind of tuck him in the inside pocket of my
Okay.
vestments. You feel safe there?
It stays for the time.
Very well, Cloud. Welcome. And I'll say, Well, we'll hope for the best for the other one. He does not seem to want refuge at this point. We shall continue on. Can't keep Zan waiting all night.
Indeed. I do hope the other will be all right.
He'll find his way in this world.
One could hope. These creatures deserve more than this. And I gesture to the remains of what's left there. Even I, a man of no faith, would not dare cross the gods. I eyeball Corvin.
Corvin kind of looks at him, giving a side eye.
Okay.
Well, I know anybody that's cursed by the gods like they are. They do deserve better. His white, shining eyes and gray skin, he looks at you. Then Corvin's going to kind of take up the rear, and he's going to give a quick look to see if he can find that black cat again.
Roll a perception check. The group of you begin to head back.
Yep.
Okay.
19.
All right. Alokian, the smaller one in your vestments, meows a few times and tries to find its way out of the vestment to peer around.
Kind of just open it up.
Yep.
What is it?
As you begin to leave Kaz and Alokian, it's looking back towards where the nest is, meowing a few times. Corvin, you do see the creature, small creature, begin to stalk your path as you're leaving, probably about 30, 35 feet behind the group of you in the grass. Seems to be following.
I will kind of slow my walk a little.
Okay.
And I have no spells that would help me, unfortunately. I will
You don't have
as
any
they-
Pokeball spells?
No. As they get a little further up, I will take my sword and kill it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I will set it down. I will set it down on the ground in front of me and then kind of turn and look, and I will pull out a ration and kind of hold it out and say, "We're not going to hurt you."
What
That's
sort of
okay.
ration is this?
I mean, I assume most of what Corvin eats is dried meat.
Meats,
so-
okay. Go ahead and make a animal handling check as this creature's stalking behind you, and you take out your rations, put your sword down, try to convince it and entice it to come eat.
Okay. Does the food give me advantage?
Well, I was actually going to give you disadvantage because the owl lifting it off the ground and being
Yeah.
attacked by. So
That makes sense.
you have just a normal roll.
Okay, normal roll. Okay. 9. But I had an inspiration that I got
You sure did.
a long time ago. I'm gonna go ahead and use that inspiration
Go ahead.
to roll more. 3. So 9.
You try to pull whatever power you can within yourself to convince this creature to come closer, and then it darts back into the grass, out of sight.
I'm gonna kind of wait and kind of put the ration away.
Okay.
And then Corvin will kind of say, "I don't blame you." And then he's gonna pick up his sword and continue walking.
All right.
Everything all right, Corvin? Did you see him?
I did, but he fled.
Unfortunate indeed.
Yes, looks like we're gonna go hungry tonight. Kind of smirk and then kind of walk past Kaz.
I will take that as a jest.
Take it however you want.
A couple more meows come from Alokian's vestments. Every now and then as you approach back to the caravan in the way of the Manicore. Belkin, you can see Alokian from chest down is covered in inky black, thick mud. The rest of them have some of this mud on their boots, but Alokian seems to be the only one to decide to jump in.
Did you find your kitten? Kittens.
We managed to wrangle one, yes. Yeah, meet him. His name is Cloud. Isn't he cute?
Oh, Cloud. I hope you didn't go through too much strife to find them.
Little bit. Fell in the mud and almost got sucked in, like the quicksand there was warning you about, but you never thought would be real.
Yeah, that happened to my cousin. You walk in and it's gone.
A lot of your cousins seem to meet unfortunate fates.
Only less than 14.
Thought halflings were supposed to be lucky.
We are until we're not.
Oh. Duly
Makes
noted.
sense. Yes, but yes, he's a cat with wings. Kaz mentioned Tresemme, I think.
Dress him.
Yes.
They are the felines closest to the gods.
He's a gift from Ilmater. Must be
Clear.
rewarding me for converting that purple dragon knight.
Do we believe he's honestly converted?
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't he be? I talked to him for at least 2 hours about Ilmater.
Oh, that poor guy.
He was very intrigued. He wanted to know more. He wanted a symbol of Ilmater. He wanted to know where the church was. After all that, you think he wouldn't be?
Did you read him? Did you stop talking to him after he did that?
What? No. I kept talking.
Of course you did.
I could talk for hours and hours, even days, about Ilmater.
Yeah.
Why are you interested?
We've
No. But
We've seen and heard much. But I've only one question for the man, should I ever come across him again. That would be who hurt you. Never understood the desire to be a god's whipping thing.
Well, that is why I am blessed with a Tressum. And you, well, you have an owl.
Yes. My creature flies naturally. Yours flies with magic.
Yours is made
Well,
of magic. What are you
well.
saying? Comes from a different plane of existence.
Yes. Tomo is a
You're
fate.
commenting on my cat's magic, but your owl is made of magic.
I would also
I
like to
I
add.
don't know what you speak of. Snap, and then the owl will appear on my shoulder.
I would also like to add that I think every religious person is a god's whipping thing. Maybe not in the literal sense. But we should go.
The caravan
Then,
lurches
would you like
forward.
to see my new cat?
Sure, come show me. As Zan hits the reins on the horses and pulls back onto the road. Heading
You
west.
need to go slower. I can't show you if you're taking off like this.
He keeps
Kind
it,
of stumbling
yeah, he
forward.
keeps
as a
it
cat.
slow enough for you to catch up and show him. Well, interesting. You said his name's Cloud.
Yes, you see, he looks like a storm cloud. So his name is Cloud.
Very clever.
I'm not quite sure you have its gender correct. He's looking at it as you're showing him.
Just kind of flip it around.
It's a female.
What is it? Oh,
Perhaps Cloud with an E at the end. I don't know.
I think
That's-
Cloud can be neutral.
Cloud is for everything. Cloud has no parts.
He
It's
pets
a
it.
Cloud. Either way, she is a gift from Ilmaida.
That is good. We need some good luck and fortune, as we're almost to the end of this venture, and it'll be nice to rest and relax for a little while after this. This has definitely
Yes.
been a long one, I can tell you that.
Well worth it, I hope, in the end.
Oh, Alokian. Did you know that some scholars once theorized that the clouds themselves are just water evaporating into gas? So in that nature, cloud is just earth fart. Thought it was very interesting.
You're an Earthbot, and I'll start walking.
She is very cute, though.
Yes,
tr-
she is.
You travel for about an hour before up ahead on the horizon, on the road, you see the signs of lights spread apart slightly, possibly getting closer to this hamlet or town. The encampment of the Purple Dragon Knights long gone, out of sight now. But you continue to approach. And so far, you haven't seen any decent spots to just camp out anyway. So in about the next 20 or 30 minutes, you'll probably be at Battle Rise itself. Those of you that wish, you can roll a perception check as well to see if you can glean anything from where you currently are.
I am far too preoccupied playing with the new cat.
Go ahead and make me another animal handling check as you're trying to bond with this creature.
6.
Okay. It's kind of getting annoyed and unruly currently, meowing from time to time, peeking out of your vestments. You probably get a couple claws and bites, but nothing too damaging. Definitely beginning to suffer for this creature.
Perhaps she is gassy, huh?
What was the perception checks for those of you that want to look ahead? 7.
10.
10. Belkin? Anything?
6.
All right. You guys are great.
Mhm.
I don't, at least Corvin sees lights on the horizon.
The town.
Yeah, there's something ahead. And the caravan moves forward without any other information from your current vantage point. You approach Battle Rise, a small hamlet. You see the hamlet itself, after about 10 minutes or so, kind of spread out as there's wooden buildings among each other. One larger building that looks like it's probably 3 stories, thick thatch roofs across all of them, made out of the different grasses of this area. You also see farms. Looks like we lost Belkin.
Yeah.
You see a number of farms around the hamlet itself. Welcome back.
All right.
And the road itself kind of cuts between this hamlet, right through the center of it. There's a number of roads that shoot off the sides and paths, but they all seem to go to these different homes or buildings that are in this area. It's not very big. If you had to guess, it's probably about 20 buildings total. But one such road looks like it goes north, but much of it seems to be overgrown. You can see candle lights and torches sporadically throughout some of these buildings, but one particular one, the larger 3-story one that's kind of right off the main road, the Way of the Manicore, on the southern side of it, has a number of different lights coming from within. It's quiet. There's not a lot of sound coming from inside this hamlet. You don't see any signs of people moving in and about, as the dark is come and gone for about an hour or two now. A lot of these buildings also have heavy doors that close on the outside of the buildings, covering the windows. Now that you're closer, you can see what looks like small, short walls in different spots positioned throughout this hamlet that are makeshift palisades, possibly where people get up on to protect against any intrusions. But the group of you push your way into Battle Rise. And Zan motions to the 3-story building. Apparently there's a fairly new inn here. Not many people stop at Battle Rise, as this place gets attacked from time to time from creatures in the vast swamps. So if we stay here, I guess it'd be less dangerous than staying out in the wilderness.
Do people do any kind of shopping here?
I'm not sure which sort of trade may come through here. I know they have farms here, but perhaps this is a supply place, perhaps? We can ask.
Okay, fair enough.
So, unless anyone does anything else, Zan will pull the caravan into the hamlet and approach the larger building there on the inside. Alright, so Zan pulls the caravan into Battle Rise. Inside the hamlet, you can see there's a number of defenses that have been made here. Small palisades on the side of buildings, heavy shutters on the outside of windows, and you go into the center of this hamlet. You can see there are a number of farms in and around this place, so it looks like they are able to grow food for themselves, but you're not quite sure what they trade here until you get to the center of the hamlet. You see there's a large, well-defended fence that encompasses a field, and inside that field is a number of heavy horses of all different shapes and sizes, beautiful creatures that are currently being raised and bred inside this place. You pull into the hamlet and head towards the 3-story building that Zan mentioned before. Inside, you can see the 3-story building. It does have even small palisades on the side of this building itself. Heavy shutters on the outside, defensive positions on this inn. And you can also see a defensible stables that is connected to the fence as well. And Zan begins to pull in that direction. The stables are actually, it's a separate building just on the side of this 3-story building. On the outside of the building, you do see the Inn of Battle Rise, as there's a sign that has a hill with what looks like a number of ruins depicted on the sign itself. So the group of you approach. Zan pulls up the caravan, and there's a porch underneath the overhang of the building there as well, ahead of you. And on the porch, you see a number of chairs and tables there, and there's an elderly male human sitting there that has a heavy tunic and a cloak that's kind of hung off the side of his rocker that he's currently on. He has a mug of something, a glass in his hand, as he's rocking there, watching you approach. He does put up a hand and just eyes you. One eye kind of squinting as if he's trying to get some sort of details of the group of you. You do also see from the stables, as the gray lantern's kind of encompassing the front of the caravan, a beacon in the dark as you go down the road here. A younger, probably early 20s, maybe late teens, young man also rushes out as the caravan kind of pulls to the side with the horses. Sir, can I help you with your horses? Are you staying here tonight? He begins to just ask a number of questions as quickly as Zan pulls in. The elderly man just continues to watch. Yes. If my companions wish to get a decent rest tonight, maybe a meal or two, or even a drink. And many patrons inside. The older man listening in. Apparently he's not too hard of hearing. Why are you asking about our patrons? Zan then speaks up. We tend to like our space. Ah, okay. Well, not too many tonight. Not too many travelers since the Purple Dragon Knights passed. I'm sure you've seen them. Zan nods. Yes, they have a checkpoint at the Dark Flow. Very good, then. If you're able to pass them, then we'll be happy to serve you this evening. He gets up very slowly out of his rocker and begins to move inside. He looks to the young man. Go ahead and take care of their horses, and then bring them in. And the elderly man goes inside. The young man says, "Don't worry about Herb. He's an old crotchety man. He's lived here for a long time, and he had to deal with all these tribesmen and lizard men and everything else, so from time to time he has good days and bad days, you know." And he moves over and begins to help Zan with the horses. Zan's pleased to have somebody finally able to help him. And he begins to examine the horses and looks to you, the group of you. Feel free to go in and get started without me. And he's lifting each one of the legs of the horses, checking their hooves and their shoes, to make sure everything's okay. Taking care of them.
Okay. We'll
few
head
moments.
inside.
A few moments later, before you even able to get inside, as the group of you walk toward the front porch and walk to the Inn of Battle Rise, a elderly lady approaches as well and opens the door for you. Welcome to the Inn of Battle Rise. We're happy to have you. Are each of you staying inside? Drinks, food? What do you have? And as she does open the door, a waft of a sweet smell kind of permeates from the inside, as there's something maybe baking in their kitchen. If any of you have any sweet tooths, you know probably there's some sort of apple cobbler, maybe blackberry cobblers being cooked in here.
Yes, probably all of the above tonight, and you'll head inside.
Very good, very good. She has a great dress that has a brown apron that's fairly well used. But the inside of this place looks well decorated and homey, as there's a number of candles on each of the tables. There's a few different mirrors in this room that's finely decorated with filigree and edging all around them. A few different paintings of older paintings of what looks like maybe castles or keeps, all on this very large rocky hill that's surrounded by a forest. And each of them looks like they're painted and depicted in different seasons. But all of the keeps and castles look like they're different designs. But all in the same location. And she motions you inside. You can see a well-waxed bar in the back. At the bar, there are some candles and stuff there, but it seems like that side of the room is dimly lit to give a good atmosphere inside. It's fairly warm and cozy. You don't see any other patrons currently in the building. The elderly man is just finally getting behind the bar as the group of you, if everyone does enter, anyone that does enter can see that. You also see on the right side there's a set of stairs leading up, and on the back side there's a door on the right side of the bar that leads back probably into a kitchen or something. So fairly standard inn, but well decorated and meant to give a decent mood.
Is there anyone else in the bar currently?
Other than the old man that's going behind the bar and the lady that's allowing welcoming you into the inn, there's currently no one in the downstairs.
Okay. Well, get some food.
Well, we haven't had too many travelers recently. We weren't really expecting anyone, but we do have a good bit of turnips that are prepared in different ways, as that's our main crop. We have good turnip soup that is prepared with a bit of venison, as well as a fresh turnip salads for anyone that tend to not eat any meat. She eyes Alokian as she does say that, and then over to Kaz. But anything else? Actually, we actually have a good bit of desserts that's baking right now in the oven. That maybe some of you with sweet tooths like, even the young one, as she's motioning over to Belkin.
Yes, young one. Do you enjoy the sweets?
Who doesn't? He could be any age and enjoy sweets.
Yeah, the lizard men, they bought us out of meats, so unfortunately we don't have any of that ready. And she begins to walk.
You said there was some venison in the soup.
Yes, we do have some venison in the soup. It's a bit stewy, but it's very hearty.
Could you perhaps just take out some venison? I need a little bit of the venison, and then I'll take a turnip salad for myself.
All right, some venison out of the stew, and a turnip salad.
Yes, and I'll take that.
Turnip salad here as well.
All right, another turnip salad.
I guess I'll try the soup. See how that
The
is.
soup, very good. It's very good. It's hearty. By the way, I'm Linda. If you need anything, we're the proprietors here of Battle Rise Inn. Herb over there, he'll take any drink orders if you need it. Otherwise, you rooms for tonight as well.
Yes, I would prefer a room by myself if it's possible. How many rooms do you have available?
Well, most of our rooms are available. We only have a couple other patrons that are currently here.
Do you have 5?
Oh, yes.
Perfect. I'll take
Top
one.
floor or second floor?
Top floor.
Top floor. Okay, very good. And she rushes behind the bar, Herb taking out a towel and begins to wipe some of the, out of habit, wipe the bar top. Would you have any drinks, gentlemen?
Yes, please.
What will you have? And she gets a couple keys. Everyone getting a room of their own.
Yes.
We do
Yeah,
have a
please.
bunk room as well. That's more for people that don't care about their privacy, but
Corvin, did you want to bunk with me tonight?
No. I do not.
Very well. Belkin,
You know what? Sure, why not?
yes.
so one
We'll
bunk room.
We'll split the cost.
All right. The bunk room is well, if you're both taking the bunk room, that's 1 silver for that, and the single rooms are 1 silver, 5 copper.
Belkin, I seem to have misplaced my coins at the moment. Do you mind?
You want me to just go ahead and put the food on as well?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I put all on it. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
And she begins to add it all up, and so it looks like all total is going to be 5 silver and 5 copper for the evening. And she begins to hand each of you a key. Gives you 1 key, Alokian, for the bunk room.
And I will
I'll only give her
offer 2 gold.
10 silver.
We give her 2 gold.
Yeah.
Her eyes wide. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sir Elf.
Corvin probably give him a gold. Just set down a gold. Or
Thank you,
that'll
sir.
cover drinks for me tonight too.
Oh, yes, we'll put this onto your tab then.
Yes,
Oh, that's
perhaps
cool.
with all that extra money, you could
But
make sure that the boy takes extra good care of the horses. They've been through a lot.
oh, you have horses outside then, stabled?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
a couple
yes,
of
of
them.
course. We'll take good care of them. We take good care of all horses. Are you looking to swap your horses for travel?
I don't think Zan would like that very much. I think he's grown attached to the horses.
Well, I know some travelers tend to swap horses along the way.
How much do you sell horses for?
Well, it depends on the breed and what type of horse, but are you looking just for a riding horse, a war horse, or a pony?
Well, perhaps Belkin needs a pony, but for now, I'll just inquire about a good riding horse.
A good riding horse from our stock runs for 75 gold.
Great. How about a cheaper one?
A cheaper one. So just a regular horse then runs around 50 gold.
50 gold. And you could ride it, theoretically.
I mean, obviously you ride it or pull, but they're not as fast as the riding horses. But
Yeah,
if you
they
need
could
anything
keep up
for
with a
battle,
cart.
you look like she's eyeing the group of you and your gear. You look like well-traveled individuals, probably adventurers, maybe.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Maybe.
If you need any horses that are well-trained for battle, then we also have those. Those run 150 gold, though. The elderly man seems to perk up as you begin to pay gold as well, and he just begins to pour drinks. He's filling mugs of ale off the tap and putting it before each of you. I'll
Would you
make sure to
perhaps
keep this
be-
flowing for all of you.
Wonderful.
Very well. Would you perhaps be interested in purchasing or perhaps even trading? I do have some chainmail here that's fairly new. It's hasn't seen much combat at all, and a regular shield, also which hasn't seen much battle.
Well.
Perhaps these could be purchased by you or traded, uh, with some extra gold, of course, for a nice war horse,
A warhorse.
a horse meant for battle.
Well, I'll let Herb do that, and I'll go get started on the food. And she rushes back.
Great,
And
Herb.
Herb, he comes over with his drinks, with your drinks, and a drink of his own. As he begins sipping it, let me see what sort of chainmail you have there, in your shield. We do get many travelers. Obviously, we're not, um, we don't trade much as far as arms and armament goes, but you never know what we might need along the way, as we get many people through here.
Yes, of course, yes. I'm sure you'll be able to get rid of these hastily. They're good. They've treated me well. Like I've said, they haven't seen much battle, but
Is there
that's good news for you.
Is there a general store in town at all? Or is it just the inn?
Yeah, we have a general store here, but it's mostly for tools and that sort of thing, and tends to make smiths a few of our horseshoes. But other than that, beyond tools and repairs for weapons that we have, we mostly trade for any of that sort of stuff.
Yes, because I also have a set of chainmail.
You do see underneath his clothes, he is wearing a suit of like studded leather armor. He does have a short sword that is sheathed at his back, and a dagger at his boot.
Size-wise, is he bigger than me?
The human,
Mm-hmm.
the elderly man. How tall are you?
5'8".
He's probably about 5'10", so he's about your height, but
Wondering
as
if his studded leather armor would fit me, and if it's in good repair.
okay. You can't make out too many details of it underneath his clothing. But he's probably a little bit wider than you are. Not as lithe or thin.
All right.
But if it's well-made armor, then perhaps it'll have straps and adjustments to thin to your size.
Herb, any chance you might know where I could find a nice set of studded leather armor, similar to what you wear upon your person?
Well, probably won't find any in town, but just out of town, in the swamp, there's the Broken Tooth tribe that are there, and they tend to trade arms and armament from time to time, especially for food or horses. The lizard folk.
Do you think they might have anything in my size?
Perhaps. The lizardmen seem to try to make a variety of things to trade, as they've become pretty decent craftsmen in the years.
Kaz, did you mention the history at all that you remembered
Would
of
have,
this
yeah.
one? Okay. I think it's best we keep our distance from the lizard folk, at least at this point.
I understand. Many people hold on to that stigma.
Oh, and I have nothing against them. There's just a past. The god they serve that we're not exactly friends with, I think, at this point. And he'll kind of side-eye Alokian and everyone else, like, trying to get them to understand.
The gods. Which god?
Oh, what is their name? Share? Which
Char.
was Char.
Yeah?
Share.
Sure?
Sure.
Char. Char.
Sure.
I've seen this share before.
I'm pretty
Remember-
sure she believes in
I think that's
life after love.
I don't
No.
think this tribe
you guys are the-
serves Shar.
Okay. Well, then perhaps we could, if we wanted to, take a look.
But what do I know?
And we also do have something, and I'm gonna lean over to Kaz, and I will flick open the bag of holding and reach in, and I'm gonna pull out a single bottle of fine elven wine.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show that to him. What do you think this is worth?
He reaches out to take it, to look at it. If you allow him, he takes it and begins to
Yep.
look at it. Not seen anything like this before.
It's old.
I do not suppose you would have seen it within your lifetime.
Yes.
Interesting. Looks well made, though. We're just kind of dusting some of the dirt and nastiness off of the bottle. Where'd you acquire this from?
Deep within a dungeon.
A deep dark hole.
Are you looking to
Hey.
sell it?
Perhaps the price is right.
It
Yes.
probably look good on your top shelf.
This is true.
Interesting. He'll examine it. It looks elven made. Can't really put where from or perhaps what year. It looks like whatever label was on, and he's kind of rubbing his hand over it. It's long gone. Perhaps it is good. I don't know. Have you tried it?
We have not.
We haven't even opened it yet.
Don't know what it tastes like then, huh?
We do not.
Perhaps maybe I'm a gambling man from time to time.
If I like to hear.
He smiles at you, Belkin. Do you take 25 gold for it?
He'll look to everyone else. What do you all think?
25 in free cup if you open the one.
A tasting.
Yes.
But if I open it, then the value may go down.
I was
That's all.
going to say, we do have more.
You have
Several
more.
bottles.
That's
Yes.
also true. We got 4, I think.
No, we have
Three?
7.
So you have 7.
Yes.
So he looks over to look in. You were looking for a horse then, and you want to trade your armor for a horse and this shield. Lokin.
That is muted. Yes.
Yeah, yes. It happens. I do it all the time.
You want to trade your armor and your shield and maybe some of this wine for a horse then.
Well, I cannot speak for the wine. I did not discover it, and I do not claim ownership over it. But the chain mail and the shield for sure. And I do have some gold to spare.
Okay.
Obviously, you would be doing me a great favor, as I believe I'll still come up a bit short for a
Well,
mighty steed.
perhaps for this time, he'll reach in and pull out 3 more bottles.
Okay.
And basically hand one to each of us, kind of separating the bottles evenly for now.
All right.
Perhaps we all 4 of us get a bottle and do with what you would like, and then Zan as well can grab one, and perhaps if we can make a deal.
Yes, well, yeah. The wine will be on the table as well, then.
So the wine, your set of armor, and the shield. And let's go ahead and say 60 more gold, and you can have yourself a war horse. We'll have the saddle
What
and
about-
everything included.
What if, perhaps all that and 50 gold?
Make a persuasion check.
10.
58 gold the wine and the armor and shield. I'm not sure when we'll be able to sell or trade the armor and shield, but the wine, perhaps, depending on what it tastes like, maybe good for us.
One last rebuttal.
And Corbin will speak up, actually. How about this? Well, no, wait, never mind. Never mind, he's not going to say that. It wouldn't be worth it at all.
My last counter offer, 50 gold, the chainmail, the wine, the shield, and I will bless your inn.
Go ahead and make one more persuasion check.
21.
Blessed by who? Or what god?
Well, Ilmater, of course.
Of course.
Who made her? Deal.
Yes,
He reaches out his hand to shake yours.
Deal.
He smiles. I'm sure the gods will. Any god here that Ilmater will do.
Yes, he will make sure to protect your humble abode from any suffering that may occur. Perhaps save you from plight and
Or even
plunder.
passerbys.
Yes, of course. I can perform that ritual tonight.
Sounds like a deal. And he'll take the shield and the armor, the wine, and wait for the gold.
I'll nudge Belkin and say, "Did you hear that?"
Yeah, I heard it.
You.
Now, everyone has the drinks here. Would you like to go find your warhorse this evening? We have 4 of them.
Do you even
I
know
could-
how to ride a warhorse there, Awoken?
Oh, yes. I've
Uh,
ridden a horse.
I do not believe you.
These are strong creatures.
They're big.
I am big.
They're,
Yes, you are.
They're bigger.
There are stories of old that say a warhorse can kick a hole in a fur bulk.
Yeah.
Well, we'll hope that doesn't happen. Yes, I would love to pick out a horse. I could pick one out.
Do you hand him the gold?
Yeah, I hand him 50 gold.
All right, he takes the gold, he takes the armor and whatnot, and goes into the back room. I'll be right back. And brings the wine and everything into the back kitchen. You hear the sounds of pots and utensils and things being shifted about in the back. Another waft of sweet-smelling baked goods enters the main part of the inn. And then a few moments later, the elderly man returns. He puts his cloak on. Does everyone want to come, or everyone else just gonna relax?
I'm gonna sit and enjoy my drink.
All right, here.
In character and out.
All right, sounds good.
I will. I'll go with you, and I'm gonna, as I kind of stand up, I'll set the wine down next to Kaz and say, "Put the rest of those away for now."
I'll put them back in the bag of holding.
Okay. So he leads you out the front of the Battle Rise Inn, and you can see Zan has already pulled the caravan on the side, kind of backed it up near a tree on the eastern side of the building. And the horse is probably already stabled. Zan is at the front of the caravan looking inside. The caravan turns and looks at the group of you, gives you a slight wave as the elderly man goes around the building and leads you towards the large stables that are there. He goes inside and you can hear the sounds of multiple different horses inside this large building. The stables being bigger than many of the buildings inside the hamlet itself. Very well made, upkept. It's not overly smelly with manure or anything like that. Looks like they take good care, especially just from the entrance of the stables here. You can see in the back, the boy, well, the young man, has the both of Zan's horses strapped in the back and is currently cleaning them. Do a good job for these gentlemen. They're paying us well. They're actually here for one of the horses. Yes, sir. I will. And he begins to lead you down the stables and takes a left down one of the other halls. This way to the war horses. As you are walking past, you do see a number of different horses, even younger horses that are, especially in the front area, that were born probably maybe only a few months ago. All shapes, colors, variants in here. Place is well lit, and as he turns to the left, you see on the left and the right there's 4 different stalls. Well, 2 different stalls on both sides, very large stalls, and inside the stalls are actually reinforced with iron there, and he begins to unlock one of the first door there. This one is still a bit wily as we're training him, but he does have a bit of let's say spunk when it comes to combat. And he moves, after he unlocks it, he moves aside one of the shutters, and you see through the iron bars now there's a dark, like really dark chocolate brown, solid chocolate brown horse. Its mane is currently braided in like a somewhat of a like mohawk looking braid down the back, and a similar tail braid. He looks very, like, you can see his veins kind of just pulsing through his legs. His muscular structure is thick and powerful. He's definitely got a powerful build as well. And then he moves to the next one and unlocks it and moves the shutter away. And similar to the last, a very powerful build, but this one is gray with black spots across its body. Its mane just kind of flows down, dark, cascading across its head and face. It kind of huffs roughly as it sees the group of you, and it begins to wake up. Seems pretty alert and has a good perspective on its surroundings as it was preparing to stand as the group of you approach. Then he moves to the next stall and opens that one. That one has a black horse with white boots kind of going up to almost its knees, and a white diamond shape on its forehead. This one also having a thick mane. It doesn't look as powerful of a build as the other two, but looks fair. Its coat is very shiny and beautiful. It's still warhorse, and probably trained for battle, but not as powerful. And it finally moves to the last stall, and he unlocks it and slides. The slide opens so you can see inside. And this horse has gray, like large gray spots across its body, and the rest of it's white. Its hair has that gray color cascading across both sides of its head and neck, and it looks up from its place and just watches the group of you as if it's studying you in a more intelligent way than any of the other three. These are the 4 war horses that we currently have for sale. We do have others that are being trained, but these are our current stock. If you wish to go inside and examine them, you can.
Yes, the white one seems. It was white, right? The intelligent one.
White with large, like, gray, wispy spots on it.
This white one with the gray spots seems very intelligent. Do you mind if I approach it?
She definitely is. She learns quickly. And he goes and begins to open the door. And he says, "Hold," to the horse, and you see it stand to its feet and lift its head. It looks to be standing proud in place. And he goes inside. "Follow me," he says to you. And he goes in, puts his hand across her face, takes a brush and begins to brush her neck and her mane. Go ahead. She won't bite.
So I will attempt to use my beast speech and just kind of look at the horse
Alright.
in the eye and say, "You are beautiful and magnificent. I'd be proud to ride you if you would have me."
Go ahead and make a persuasion check as you're speaking to the horse.
14.
You hear a light as if confirmation. Seems
Very well.
you spoke in your common tongue, correct?
Yeah, I think it comes out as
You might make a
common.
couple horse noises along the way, but
Right.
it seems she's accepted your proposal. Very good. He pets the side of her face. You wish to give her a go now.
Not tonight.
In the morning, then?
It's yes. I assume you can have her ready with the other horses when we're ready to leave.
Absolutely.
Does she have a name?
No, not yet.
Well,
We've called her
just have to
Misty from time to time, but I'm not
Misty.
sure. We tend to not name our horses as we don't want to get attached, and most people want to name them themselves.
well, we'll sleep on that. Perhaps in the morning we'll have a name.
They'll learn it.
Wonderful. Well, let's get back inside then.
You can go ahead and also make an animal handling or nature check as you're examining her to see how good she seems.
16.
Yeah, she's definitely looks like a very strong horse and healthy horse. They've taken good care of the horse itself, and as far as its training, you're not sure how well trained yet until you begin to give it its commands. But it looks like they've done a good job so far in keeping it healthy, at least.
Perhaps if I could, can I look at the black one?
Oh, yes. You're interested as well. And he leads
Yeah.
you in there, Alokian, as you're examining the horse, and goes over to Corvin. The one with the white boots and the white diamond on the forehead?
Yes.
All right. He goes, "You want to go inside?"
Yes, please.
He unlocks it and opens it. "Hold," he says, and the horse stands in position to be examined. He moves over and begins to pet its face and brush its neck.
I'll kind of move forward and reach out my hand and pet it. Kind of looking it over. Does it look like a good horse?
Go ahead and make a nature or animal handling check as you're checking it out.
Oh, geez. This always goes well, as we found out tonight. My animal handling. Okay, 15.
Okay.
15.
Very well maintained, very healthy, very strong, but it also seems it seems like it's not as well built as the other two, the two first ones. This one looks like it's probably a little bit quicker than the other two, though.
Okay.
He's very fast. This one, when you ride him, you need to hang on.
Okay. Trying to think of how to word this. I kind of want to look in its eyes.
Okay.
Does it kind of have a look of fury? Kind of why does it look wild at all? Does it feel wild to me? Does it feel like it's
Roll an
I
insight
don't know.
check.
I don't know what I'm trying to capture. 16.
So you're looking into its large brown eyes, trying to see if there's something behind those eyes that maybe you can connect to. Maybe that is maybe something that can speak to you. But unlike the last one that Alokian currently is purchasing, there doesn't seem like that part of personality or intelligence that's beyond just a normal horse. You're not quite sure as far as like a wildness about it. You're not quite sure until you get it out and begin to ride it and begin to give it commands. So other than what you can tell from your animal handling and as well as what this individual has told you, or Herb has told you, you're not quite sure.
Can I perhaps take it for a ride tonight?
Yes, we can get him prepared.
Okay. I would appreciate it.
All right. The elderly man moves out. Just, you can stay inside, and he goes down the hall and gets saddle and a riding blanket and barding the straps and everything, and brings it into the stall and begins to prepare the horse. The horse is very well trained. It looks like it stands there and is ready for whatever the individual, whatever Herb says for it to do. It follows his command. Strangely enough, like to a T.
As he's getting ready, I will kind of go over to Alokian and say, "Are you sure you don't want to go for a ride? I think I'm going to."
No, not tonight. I want to feed the kitten, and I do have a blessing to get to.
That's true.
I will let the horse rest for tonight.
All right. Okay.
All right.
I will go back.
Takes him about 10 minutes or so to prepare the horse, and he begins to lead it out the back of the stables into the fenced-in area, the large fenced-in area, and lead you there. He hands you the reins. Normal, simple commands. He will stand in place. Even battle commands, if you know any of those. And he goes over a number of commands for you to ride the horse, to wade into battle, even combat maneuvers. He goes over with you on all in the common tongue.
Are there anything like practice dummies of any kind out?
Actually, yeah, there are a number of practice dummies that are in the field there. There are a number of even archery dummies that are in overhangs along the edge of the fenced-in area.
Okay. Well, I'll take the horse around it a couple times.
Okay.
Just normal riding, kind of trying to get up to speed,
All right.
going fast. And then after getting around a couple times, I will draw my blade
Okay.
and attempt to just strike a dummy.
All right.
with practice.
So you ride around the fenced-in area a few times, which is a few hundred feet going around the large fenced-in area that goes through the town, and you can tell that this horse is quicker on its hooves than others that you've probably ridden before. Its speed is a little bit faster, as well as probably its dexterity. It seems to take turns very well, and takes your maneuvers very good. And go ahead and make an animal handling check as you are doing that initial ride on the horse to see how well it's taken to you,
Oh dear.
how quickly it takes to you.
2.
At advantage.
21. Natural. I rolled a natural 1 and a natural 20.
Well, good for that.
21.
So almost instantly you connect with this horse, and you feel like you almost as if you feel the ground beneath its hooves. You feel the motions as it turns on a dime, and it quickly dodges out of the way of different maneuvers through small trees and through the dummies that are out there. And now you take out your blade and make a pass at one of the dummies that are out there. You can go ahead and make an attack. Your first attack I'll allow at advantage because of your animal handling in connection out in the field with it in warm up.
So, at a disadvantage, it would have been a natural 1 for an 8, but an advantage at the 26.
Nice. And very easily, even in combat, you seem to grow akin with this war horse in the fenced-in area. Very well-trained creature.
Okay. I will. I'll kind of ride up next to the man. This is a good horse.
You like him, don't you?
I do. Same deal as the Lokian. So a set of chain armor, bottle of wine, 50 gold pieces. But then I also have, and I'll pull out the long sword.
He
Very
examines it.
finely made long sword.
And that's the one you found in.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I get a sense that would be worth more than a regular longsword?
It looks very well made, so probably would be worth more than a regular longsword.
Okay. Then I'll try. I'll say instead of 50 gold, I'll say 30 gold, along with the longsword.
Okay. He examines it. Yeah, it looks like a decent blade. Make a persuasion check.
The way I've been rolling tonight. 11.
The wine, the armor, and the blade, and 50
Yes.
gold. And we'll have a deal. These are very well trained animals. Have to make sure we have gold to continue our business here as well.
40. And it's a deal. I mean, that sword is worth more than the shield and the blessing, I would hope.
You follow any god?
No.
So no blessing you can give upon us?
Well. And he kind of looks down and looks at the sword and looks at the gold he has. Seems like I'm giving him a blessing better than any he can give. The gods don't care. Take what's in your hand. not some fantasy.
He moves over to the horse and rubs its face again. $45 gold, and you have a deal.
Fine.
Very good. And he allows you to lead the horse inside. Let's bring him back into the stall.
Of course.
And looking, they return and bring the horse back in, unsaddle him, and pick him up for the evening. You're welcome to visit him anytime. He takes the chain, and I guess Kaz, you're still there. Just bring the wine inside, and the rest, and we'll have a deal.
Of course.
We'll have him prepared with the other horse in the morning.
Okay. So yeah, I'll go in and get Kaz and pull out a bottle of wine and put on the table along with the 45 gold.
And he takes the armor and the longsword and brings it in the back, just like he did the last time.
I take it, Corvin, you're getting yourself a steed as well.
I figured it would be useful. At least.
Things should be interesting.
You got a horse too, Corbin?
I did indeed.
I had a cousin who got stepped on by a horse one time. Didn't
Well-
die, but he couldn't read afterwards.
Well, don't worry. I won't run you over unless you make me angry. So,
Okay, fair.
kind of smirk.
Perhaps
I
a
thought-
pony for Belkin.
Isaac
Mm.
Ninehells, you must be the unluckiest family of halflings I may have ever met.
Why would he be unlucky? He survived.
Wow. Perspective.
You are a very glass half full individual, aren't you? Wonderful.
Would you like another?
Yes, please.
And he
Keep
goes
them
behind the
coming.
bar and fills up your mug, along with anyone else that wants some.
Did you have a name that you called that horse?
No, just like the rest of them, we have not named them.
All right.
That one is 23 of the stock he comes from.
Question for the DM.
Yes.
Do you have the entire horse's family lineage, like just noted down somewhere? Just
Yes, so would you like me to get that for you?
So Belkin, no pony for you then.
War dog or nothing?
Oh,
War dog.
I'm
You have
the
any
master.
dogs?
No, we do not trade in dogs.
Next time.
Hmm,
Perhaps when the kitten gets older.
not bad, yeah.
You have a cat,
Would you like?
a kitten.
Yes, we've rescued this kitten, and I'll take the kitten out.
His eyes kind
Rescued
of
this kitten.
go wide. A tressum.
Yes.
Indeed,
Yes.
you must
That-
be blessed by the gods.
Yes, it's a blessing from Ilmater.
May I? He comes over to reach out to pet it,
If she'll let you, of course.
and he reaches out to try to pet her. And almost instantly, he must have a knack for animals, because almost instantly, she takes to him, much like she did with you, but there was like no hesitation. Instantly, she began to purr and nuzzle up against his hand.
Ah, yes.
Beautiful creature.
Ilmater blesses you as well.
Very good. And the food is served as Linda brings out everything that has been ordered, and even desserts are brought out in small little bowls. You see what looks like some sort of crusted, topped, not quite a pie, but probably a cobbler, as she brings out these small bowls for each of you as well. The blackberries being in season, so we've been making one of my specialties, the blackberry cobbler. So please have this as well.
Wonderful.
Thank
The
you.
venison for the kitten.
The venison is there on a small side platter. She wasn't sure what it was for, but it's for the kitten then. She's motioning to the cat that you're currently holding.
Yeah, I'll plop the cat on the table. Eat up.
Go ahead and make a animal handling check as you're trying to eat the kitten.
19.
She looks like she was very hungry as she begins to just quickly eat the food that you provide for her.
I will eat my turnip salad as well.
Yes. It's actually fairly good. It seems like if you have to eat turnips a lot, they find very interesting ways to prepare it and make it tasty. So your turnip salad is delicious. The soup it's okay. It's not bad. But those of you that have the turnip salad is very good. And anyone that has the cobbler, it is fantastic. If you like that sort of thing. Getting head nods from everyone.
Of course.
Do you like cobbler?
And you enjoy your dinner and are served drinks as you wish. Anyone planning to overdrink tonight?
No.
No. Just a few at dinner. Okay.
Yeah.
And the ale isn't like extremely strong. It's good for just drinking and during your dinner and having a good evening. And eventually, Zan does come in, gets food and drink as well. He does ask, would one of you mind sitting outside so I can eat? And then this evening, I'll stay out there.
Yes, I will go out.
I will join you.
You go back out, and the cool night air, it's somewhat thick, and as the moisture here near the vast swamp is definitely risen since you've left Symbia and entered Cormyr. And she's in the back, awake, just watching. There's a campfire that's built but not yet lit nearby the caravan as the both of you go and watch as Zan eats for a bit. You can see the stable boy at the front of the stables just watching you guys as well.
Boy, come over here.
He kind of sighs for a second when you say boy, and he does shuffle over. Yes, sir.
How old is he?
Ollie.
He looks probably early 20s or
Oh,
late
well,
late
then-
teens.
Corbin is not much older than him, so I don't know if he would have said that then.
Okay.
I'm assuming he was young. Then he'll yell instead, stable hand. Come over here, please.
Yes, sir. He comes walking over.
This town, is there anyone else who lives here?
There's quite a few people that live here. We probably have about 80 people that live in this town. And there's
Seems
some
rather
on the
quiet.
outskirts as well. It's definitely a quiet place. It gets, we get travelers from time to time. It's somewhat of a way station almost. People stop as needed. This is one of the few places along the way of the Manticore before you get into the Symbia.
Hmm.
And to the west, the next place is Monk's Blade. It's a larger city. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
Interesting.
People that like, I guess, the quieter places stop here. And, the nearby. Do you know of Battle Rise?
No,
Uh,
I do not.
Apparently the hill is haunted. He nods to the north. You see that
Mhm.
overgrown path. Looks like there was a very rather large road that went in northern direction that he nods to. Apparently the Battle Rise itself, many noblemen have fallen and tried to rise up at Battle Rise, but never seemed to be able to keep it built as creatures or tribes come from the swamp and destroy it.
Hmm.
That is because the noble are unworthy.
You're probably right. So who are you? I'm Mark.
Corvin.
Nice to meet you.
Gazwa.
Mark
pleasure.
Margar.
Belkin.
Belkin went outside as well.
Oh, no. I thought we were inside.
They're talking to the stable hand outside.
Oh,
Well.
okay.
What are you doing with the motions over to... Not really wanting to look quite over there. She seems, strange.
Oh, she's our pet. Be careful, she bites. Corvin will kind of smile.
Do you want to put her in this table?
No, if she takes her dragon form, she may eat the horses.
Roll a deception check.
Yes, I don't know if those burns on my side are ever gonna heal.
19.
Dragon. Dragons take form of people.
I mean, look at her. Is she
How
a
did you
person?
capture a dragon? You must be strong
We are.
individuals.
We are incredibly capable.
What do they call you?
Or lucky?
Do we, as a group,
I mean, we're the
we
great.
are bounty hunters?
Yeah.
There is that.
Is there a bounty on that dragon?
Yes.
Oh, that there is.
That's why you're buying horses. You're coming into money. Well done.
Do I get a sense that he would try anything stupid?
The stable hand?
Yeah, like hearing that there's a bounty on her head. I mean, I
Roll-
guess he thinks it's a dragon. Though.
Roll an insight check.
God, this
Fif-
kid's gonna die.
15.
He just seems interested in
Okay,
what you're sharing with him.
I just thought about that.
Well, do we have to worry about the dragon?
Not
No.
at all. She has been sedated and restrained.
And then all of a sudden you hear Raoul rattling at the back of the cage and then slamming of the chains against the cage itself. He quickly looks over there, his eyes wide. Your dragon stirs.
It takes a lot to sedate a dragon.
And with your passive insight, you can tell that she's just trying to rile up, get a bit of entertainment for herself. Well, all right. I'm gonna go back to the horses.
That's
well,
probably for the best.
And then
Mark,
he
before
rushes
you
off. Yes?
You wouldn't happen to know where a young scholar might procure some fine ink and parchment?
The general store might have some. It'll open in the morning.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'll toss him a silver.
Catch. Thank you. And then he heads back to the stables. All right. Zan on the inside says, "So all of you are staying inside in the inn tonight. We get some good rest. I'll make sure to watch Liv Shauna. The ale's not bad here either." Yeah, as he's eating some of the soup. He finishes about half of it and then goes to the dessert.
Dessert.
Yeah, he looks over to you, Alokian. So you've acquired a few new friends today, it seems. You're purchasing
Yes.
one of the horses.
I have, yes. I figured it'd make traveling a bit easier for myself while I get accustomed to this heavy armor. I've been having some trouble keeping up with the guard, if not having to ride it.
I could tell.
So why not ease my troubles if I'm able? Get a horse
Horses are always good.
and the kitten as well. Should make a nice companion.
Kittens. Cats are definitely strange creatures. Well, if y'all need anything, I'll be out in the caravan. I'll give a Loki in a moment. I don't think they have any gambling here, Belkin.
Not every inn has them, but that's okay.
Do you have any of your dice?
I do, actually. You down for a game?
Yeah, let's play. What sort of dice games do you know?
I know, it's similar to, 21. It's a with dice. It's a with dice, and not cards.
Alright. Do you know the rules? Can you explain them to me? A novice like myself.
You just, get as close to 21 as you can without going over.
Alright. Is there a minimum buy-in? I'm not as rich as the group of you as go venturing underneath the earth and find coin.
For you, buddy, if bet what you can.
He puts 10 gold onto the table.
I'm in. 10 gold.
Alright. What dice do I need to roll?
We'll go with D8.
Alright. And I just roll one. As he's
No,
sifting through the dice.
No, you get 3. You don't have to roll the third.
So I can roll 2 and decide to roll the third.
Exactly. You got it.
Alright. And I gotta get to 21. Whoever gets closest to 21 wins.
Correct.
Alright, let me roll. Do I roll first or you?
You can go first.
Alright. So he rolls the first 2 dice, and he has 2 6s on the 8-sided die for 12. Now what
Do you want to roll your third?
what happens if I go over 21?
Then you lose. But since I'm the one hosting, you can hold, and if I go over, then you win the pot.
Alright. You go ahead and roll then.
You got it. Eight. I'm gonna roll my third. 4 for 12. We tie. It's a push.
Can I decide to roll my third die now?
No, you gotta do it.
Do we want to try again?
Sure. Absolutely. Same thing.
Alright.
Go ahead, my son.
He has a 7 and a 5 on his first 2 dice. Or 12. I think I'm gonna roll that third die this time.
I like it.
And he gets another 5 for 17.
17. Got it. Well, I'll roll again. Oh, that's a D10. I lied. I think. Yeah.
I think that's the wrong die there, Billiken.
Yep.
Cheater.
No,
Trying to
I
take
said,
my coin.
No, I actually said out loud myself. I grabbed the wrong die by accident. That's my fault. 6. Roll again. I think you win this time, buddy. For 1, 7, you win.
Well, it looks like you're buying dinner. I appreciate it. And he takes your 10 gold.
No problem.
And he leaves a gold on the table for his food. Well, you guys have a good night and rest well.
You too. Thank you for your game.
We'll need your eyes and ears. Hopefully not your sword arm for the coming days.
Hopefully.
And he exits the inn.
As they're still inside, me and Kaz are sitting there. I'm gonna kind of look towards them and say, "So, I have a question. What's going on with this?" And he'll kind of point to his left eye.
Currently
Yeah.
covered.
Like Corvin to like point to his own, kind of motioning towards yours.
I'll put my hand up underneath the hair and run my finger along the scar. Taken from me after a failure. I will not fail again.
Taken by an enemy or a friend?
An enemy.
I see.
It's been long enough. Stealing from the nobility. You're bound to procure quite a few enemies.
This is true. They might not have a lot of morals, but they certainly have the power.
Well, it is my life's mission, if nothing more, than to slowly strip that feeling of power away from as many as I can. This land deserves equality.
Well, I think once you take it from one, another one will rise. Someone always has to fill the role, it seems.
That is true. Life is not a carnival game of whack and mole. If I'm to cause a larger stir, cause a drift and change. I will need power of my own. His eye is a constant reminder of that.
Seems we have similar goals then. Corbin will smile.
You too seek the power to create change.
Yes.
For whom, might I ask?
An enemy. Like yourself.
I've heard you speak ill of the gods. Do you plan to fight them yourself?
If I can.
You are a damned fool, Corvin.
Oh, I know that.
I like you all the same.
All right. Keep an eye on her. And Corvin's gonna walk to the stables.
Okay.
And he's gonna go down to his horse, and kind of call it over.
You walk over to the horse. Herb left it unlocked for both you and Alokian, just in case you wanted to do anything else with them. But the horse is there. Do you enter, or do you just go to the bars that are there?
I'm probably just. Is it like open? Like
It's
or is
got
there
iron bars. It looks like fairly secured.
I will open it then, so I
Okay.
can kind of get in close.
You slide open the gate there, and you call it. You give it the command to come, and immediately, it looked like it was beginning to fall asleep, but it gets to its feet and trots off, standing proud before you.
I will kind of put my hand on the side of its face and say, "Sorry to have woken you. I just want you to know." And he kind of smiles. "We're gonna spill a lot of blood together, Nero." And then I will kind of pet it for a little while.
It pushes into your hand as you do pet it.
And then I will kind of lock it up and head back out.
And Nero stands down, goes to bed again.
Okay.
And you leave the stables. By that time, Zan approaches you, Kaz. Thank you for giving me a moment to have dinner.
Oh, you're very welcome. I hope you enjoyed it.
They have wonderful turnips here.
Indeed.
But the cobbler was very good. I can say that at least.
That is for certain.
Well, if you need anything, you know where I'll be. And he begins to move to the backside of the caravan to check on Livshana. Make sure the shackles and everything are secure, the lock is prepared, and begins to cover with the tarps and the canvas. Then he moves over to where the campfire is prepared, begins to light it. Would you mind? He says. Seems my tinder's a bit wet.
Not at all. And I'll reach my hand out and flick a firebolt.
And just like that, the fire catches within the campfire and the wood tinder that is there, and alights. He blows on it a bit. Thank you.
Rest well.
You do as well.
I'm going to head in and head straight up to the room.
Okay. Corvin
Um,
is coming from the stables at this time.
I will head inside as well.
All right.
Do I pass Zan on the way?
Yeah. He's
Okay.
now at the fire, poking at it and getting it nice and lit.
Would you like me to come out later so you can get some rest?
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Sure.
It's up to you, but I'm sure I'll be fine. I plan to try to sleep a little. I don't imagine anything will happen here.
Yes, it seems well fortified. That's for sure.
Other eyes and ears around, so that's good.
Yes.
If you wish to check on us later, by all means.
We'll see if I wake up. Soft bed may keep me unconscious for a while.
Very good.
He'll kind of nod and walk into the inn.
All right. Kaz comes inside, and you head upstairs.
Yeah, I'll just head straight to the room. It's on the very top floor, right?
There's a hall with a number of rooms. You have your key with the number for your room itself. So you head up there.
I'll get cleaned up and sort of like use like a little bit of the of like my firebolt, like just get some of the flame sparkling for smoke,
Mhm.
and just steam my clothes.
Okay.
And just make sure everything is clean and like sterile. And before my meditation, I'll take my blade out, clean it, and play with Tomoe for a bit.
Okay.
Before meditating for 4 hours.
All right. You steam clean your clothes and prepare for the evening. Play with Tomoe for a little while. She nuzzles into you, and you feel that comfort coming from her. And finally, you go into your trance. Belkin and Alokian, what the two of you doing as Kaz goes upstairs for the evening?
What bed did you want, buddy?
Who's taking top?
I think it would be safer for both of us if you took the top.
Alokian's still full of mud that at this time is probably drying, but it still has that bit of swamp stench to it and decay of vegetation.
I still need to find a place to rinse off anyway, so you get settled up at the top bunk and I'll be up momentarily. Would you mind taking Cloud with you?
Okay.
Make an animal handling check, Belkin, as you try to take Cloud from Alokian.
18.
You hand Cloud over to Alokian. She looks back at you, Alokian, and gives a couple meows to you, but then almost a few moments later begins to just vibrate and purr in Belkin's hands and arms. And she nuzzles up against you in your arms, Belkin.
Don't know what to do. Never had a pet before. How big is this session?
This one is probably about a 1.5 feet long currently. It's still about a foot long. It's still quite small. And then all of a sudden, against your chest, you feel it kneading and clawing against your armor.
Eaty biscuits.
Wow. It's half the size of me. Done that class.
And you're just kind of holding it there. cradled in your arms.
Awoken! I think it has me pinned down.
You'll do fine. Just take it upstairs.
It's trying to make a biscuit out of me.
Its claws are coming from its paws as it scratch against your armor.
It's trying to get to my armor. Awoken! It's hungry.
As Belkin complains about the cat in his arms, what do you do, Alokian?
Proceed to ask the barkeep if there's anywhere I could wash up.
Well, we do have a washroom, but by the looks of it, it seems like you just need to go for dip in one of the water troughs, or we have a well that has you can bucket out some water to wash yourself clean.
Yes, nothing too fancy. I just need to toss some water on this and get the muck off, and
There's a well
probably
just outside.
perfect. I'll do that, and perhaps leave my outer clothing and armor to dry by the fire.
And you head out there and bucket a few things of water to clean yourself. The well isn't too far. It's actually it's actually across the street. And when you do cross the street, you do see this looks like the general store. It's an L-shaped building. It has an overhang with some workstations underneath that overhang, where it looks like they probably do some repairs or sharpening of tools and that sort of thing in that space. But the well is just in front of that building.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just rinse all my stuff off and then get down to my skivvies.
Okay. Go ahead.
Bring over.
Yep. While you're out there, you can see Zan is by the fire, just relaxing. He waves to you as you're passing by.
Yeah, I'll bring my stuff to the fire that he's near.
Okay.
I'm going to leave these to dry here tonight, if that's all right.
That's fine.
Keep a good eye on them. Yes.
Do my best. It's dangerous out here.
Well, if it turns up missing, I'll come find you first.
Sounds good to me.
Sleep well, friend.
You do too. You need it. You deserve it. We've done well so far.
Yes, saving orphans. I will be the orphan savior. That'll be my new nickname. Well, we must return inside. I have a blessing to do.
He nods as you leave.
I'll get back inside, and from my belongings, I'll pull the incense and the censer and the little tribute that I have. Place them on whatever tables closest to the middle of the room in the main area there, and I'll put the incense in the censer, and I'll just start silently praying till Illuminator to bless this building and bless the people inside, protect them from suffering.
And you doing this on the outside?
No, inside.
You're doing it inside? Okay.
Mhm.
In the main room there? Kind of just
Yep.
walk around and do it?
Yep.
Okay. Herb watches you for a few moments. And not trying to interrupt, but I should get some rest. Linda's already in bed, but we'll be here in the back if you need us. And he motions beyond the kitchen.
Of course, this will only take me a few more moments, then I will get back to bed.
And he walks into the back room. Corvin, where are you currently?
Corbin probably would have came back in and sat down and probably was drinking.
Okay.
Some more.
At the bar or at a table?
At the bar, probably. Yeah.
You see a Lokian come in and begin his ritual.
Great, he's gonna stink up the whole place. I'm kind of turn. He'll say that loud enough that a Lokian would be able to hear.
Okay.
Kind of turn and smile at a Lokian.
The incense begins to burn, permeate in the space.
I'm gonna ignore him saying that.
Okay.
Are you gonna? How long does that take you, a Lokian, to do that?
I would say probably 15 minutes of like ritual. Whatever, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
After the guy goes to bed, Corvin will go around the corner, go around the bar, and find a some kind of liquor, something that's strong.
Okay.
He can.
Absolutely.
Mm.
You find a number of heavily distilled brews in the back in bottles. Some behind the bar or on the shelves that are behind the bar.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, he'll look both, trying to find something.
Right.
Just a little.
Go ahead and roll me a d20 as you're just grabbing one at random.
15.
You find one of the bottles with a just clear liquid on the inside. It does have some writing on a label on it. Do you speak Halfling?
No.
All right. You're not quite sure what the script that's scrawled on it says, but you do see a number of X's on the top of the label as you grab it, and you pour yourself a drink.
Yeah, I'll find two shot glasses. I'll also take 2 gold and like set them where the bottle is or something. Just
Okay.
So, I'll get 2 shot glasses and I'll pour 2 shots and kind of wait for a Lokian to get done.
All right. After about 10 or 15 minutes, Lokian finishes blessing the abode, the inn, and the space, the people that are there, and finishes his prayer.
And yeah, I'll kind of motion towards the shot.
Oh boy, it's gonna be that kind of night.
Well,
Sit down at the bar.
now you know this will bring suffering in the morning, but tonight it'll be probably quite nice. And he'll kind of smile.
Yes, well, perhaps you could do with a bit of suffering.
Perhaps I could. And he'll kind of tink it on the bar and then down it.
Okay. As you both partake in this heavily distilled liquor that extremely burns on the way down, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, jeez. This is when I'm going to roll bad.
20.
10.
All right. Alokian takes it, downs it, puts it on the counter. It burned, Alokian. It's nice. It's got a nice spice after kick to it. And it was delicious. Corvin, almost immediately you begin to cough and heave as whatever spice is on the inside hits you like a war horse just running you over. Your head begins to pound, your vision goes blurred. You are drunk.
Yeah, this that would make sense.
Yep.
Corbin will kind of tastes like something Zan would have. You know, Alokian, as he pulls out the bottle and will pour 2 more shots
Okay.
and set it down. I didn't drink much when I was, well, at all. Probably
Elokian,
pretty,
you can tell he's slurring his words as he's speaking at this point.
probably pretty similar to you. I was raised pretty religious, but not any kind of religion that is good for anybody, I don't think.
Well, if your ability to drink is any indication, I would say you've lived a sheltered life.
It may have been sheltered when it came to alcohol, but not in war, Lokian. My father, I watched him do terrible things to people. I don't know how you can trust the gods. I don't know why do you think that they even care? They don't care about us.
Perhaps it's not that I believe that they care, but I believe that by believing in them, we could care for each other.
But why do we need them to do that? You shouldn't need a god as an excuse to be kind to people.
Agreed. And that's why I believe you are kind to me anyways. But for me personally, Ilmater brings a sort of peace to my mind. He taught me much through the scriptures, and I am just repaying that debt.
My god taught me to kill. He's gonna take the shot glass and drink. And
Go
I'm
ahead.
assume not long after that, probably is not gonna go well for him.
Go
after
ahead
that.
and roll another Constitution save at disadvantage.
Okay. 11. Higher than last time.
You can see again the burn and the spices, coughing, and then you can see Corvin almost drop to the floor as his eyes roll back in his head for a moment, and then he catches himself and shakes. Your vision's just blurred as whatever this is you're drinking is just overcoming your senses and bombarding them.
You
But
know,
there's a numbness across your body. Whatever aches or pains that you may have had from traveling, just gone.
now Alokian, I think the bad part is I like to kill. I like the feeling as the blade runs them through. I like to see the blood spill. The taste of it in the air. Those creatures in that dungeon. I think I slaughtered 6 of them in total. And with each one's death, I felt more strength. It was invigorating.
Well, perhaps that is your purpose in life. I am not one to tell you who you should be. We all have different paths in life, and perhaps yours is to slay monsters and beasts, and even if that does make you feel good, that's fine. The only thing I ask is that perhaps don't take enjoyment in the suffering. Make it quick. End their life if it must, swiftly.
kind of will stare off into space.
Space, the bar, floor, you're not sure what it is. You're
Stare
seeing
off
like
into
5
whatever.
Alokians sitting around you.
My friend, I think you've had your fair share of alcohol tonight. I will bring you to your bed, so I need to get to bed myself. Can you make it?
Yeah, and then he'll stand up from the bar and just immediately fall straight down. I imagine that in his heavy armor too, probably the clunk would just
Crash.
be so loud.
Yep. Echoes throughout
So-
the room.
Sorry. I'll pick him up and fireman carry him.
You pick him up and bring him upstairs.
I'll set him in his bed.
You just leave him in his armor.
Yep.
All right. You set him in his bed. Belkin, you probably heard a crash downstairs, and then Alokian saying sorry, as he's stomping upstairs on his way to drop Corvin off into his room.
Oh, okay. Get this thing off me!
You go back in the room and you see Belkin's probably laid out on his bed, the cat on top of him still trying to make a nice spot to lay for the evening.
Oh, again. I don't like this.
Yes. You're fine. You'll be fine.
No!
Come here. Come here, Cloud. Come here. Uh,
My cousin Gorm died from a house cat attack. Well, he survived the attack, but he died from tetanus.
Was it a rusty cat?
No, cats are dirty.
Oh.
They did their own poop.
Well, come here, Cloud. Please
about me?
leave your friend be.
I suffered.
I suffered.
You will survive. You will be fine.
Tell that to my cousin Gorm.
Perhaps he was deserving.
Take the cat from Belkin's chest. Belkin, now that the weight is lifted off of you, you can finally breathe. Perhaps not, as your nose and eyes are a bit itchy.
By the way, at this point, you might. I don't know if Corvin would have. He probably would have before he got drunk. But I'm just in underwear, so I have no shirt on. The scars are visible, if anyone's looking.
Interesting.
Surprisingly, I'm okay with that. Did you get those scars from the cat?
No,
Did Cloud do that
beast.
too?
no. Cloud is a gentle creature.
No! That's a lie!
It's not a lie. Look at him. Look at her. She's
This
as
is
gentle as a kitten.
His eyes are closed, currently in Alokian's hand, burning away. Sleeps.
I'll place her in my bunk.
Don't fall for it. That thing has an ulterior motive. No.
Don't be so weary of the animal, Belkin. She'll be a good companion for us.
That thing got a taste for halfling. It wants more.
Well, if we ever get sick of you,
Oh, that hurt my heart.
it's all jokes.
I know, buddy.
How'd your gambling go? Did you win?
Nah, but I gave him the easier dice. D8, not D10s. So,
So you're out some money then.
just a little bit.
Well, let's get some good night's sleeping. Hopefully in the morning we'll all feel a bit better.
Yeah. Just make sure that thing sleeps with you, not me, okay?
Well, once my eyes are closed, I cannot guarantee where she goes.
Fantastic. Please
I'll
try
give
to
him
pass.
that.
Yeah, please try to pass out pretty quick.
All right. Who takes top bunk?
Me.
Belkin.
Yeah.
Falcon climbs to the top of the bunk, and
First thing.
you lay in the bottom. Cloud. And finally drift off to sleep. Corvin, unconscious due to whatever alcohol someone made, sold here. Kaz in his trance for the evening. You all find yourselves in whatever dream-like state or focused consciousness that you go to for your rest. You're not sure how long, but I need everyone to make perception checks. Corvin at disadvantage.
Why? No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
14.
24.
Yes, yeah.
10.
24, 14.
Alright, but. That box. Oh, but I get my halfling luck for skill, right?
You roll the 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and take it.
20.
All right. Alokian, almost instantly, you hear it pulls you out of your slumber. Whatever dream you may be dreaming of, you're feeling the fur of the cat in your hand that's curled up next to you. A loud explosion
Oh dear.
outside of the building riles you awake as you instantly sit up from your bed, hitting your head on the bunk as you do. Belkin, as you hear the thunk and the explosion from Alokian waking up, the shifting of the bed, and the loud sound, and also the light that kind of flashes through the window nearby. Both of you wake up almost instantaneously as whatever this explosion outside just shakes the entire building. Corvin, you stir as a splitting sharp headache just piercing through your temples.
Oh,
Your back is hurting as you're in your armor. The chains pinching. You're writhing. What was that? As you heard a loud noise outside of the building. Kaz, you're not quite sure as you're still within your trance focused. In your mind, trained to think about the next day, the preparations, and focusing on your magic and your innate nature and connection with it. And your studied mind in the arcane. Don't wake from whatever transpires outside of the building. Alokian and Belkin, the noise came from outside, from the front of the building. And you can still see flickers of light dancing across the ceiling through the window. What do you do?
I will immediately jump out of the bunk and I will reach up and grab Belkin by his clothing.
Holy shit!
Something stirs outside, and I'll just grab him and start running with him.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Yep, I go with it.
All right. So, Alokian grabs you. What's your strength, Alokian?
14.
Okay. Alokian grabs you and begins to rush outside through the doorway, your room. And you're heading downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. You get down the first flight of stairs carrying Belkin in your arm. Do you leave the cat?
Yep.
Okay. You leave Cloud in the room as you rush out. She also is perked up and instantly begins to just bolt off the bed and begin to run around the room. Orvin, now that you're rising and stirring, your head's still full of pain, your body hurting. You also hear the sound of footsteps, heavy footsteps, rushing down the hall outside on the other side of your door.
I will grab my weapon and stumble out the door.
Okay.
And probably like yell, "What is going on?"
Alokian, as you're halfway down the stairs, you hear that stumbling through the doorway. You know where Corvin was sleeping. He kind of just bursts through the door and stomps in behind you. You hear the sound of his heavy plate just jingling and clapping behind you. Corvin, you can see Alokian at the top of his head as he's going down the stairs.
Okay. I will chase after.
Okay.
To the best of my ability.
Alokian, you continue down the next flight of stairs to the first floor. You can see the door to the bar beginning to open as Herb is stepping outside. He's rubbing his eyes out the doorway, rubbing his eyes, trying to see. He's looking to you. What's going on? And he looks past you, and you can see it. Light of fire outside of the building through the windows. The light is dancing as at this point all of the candles in the room had been blown out or died by this time. Something's on fire outside.
So I will rush outside with Belkin under my arm.
Corvin stumbling. Corvin, go ahead and make an athletics check as
I was
you're
gonna say
rushing down
probably
the
he'd
stairs.
roll down the stairs, but hopefully recover. Oh my gosh, 13! I'm rolling so bad tonight. 13.
You don't fall down the stairs, but you have to take your time, otherwise you will. So it takes you a little bit longer as you're lagging behind Alokian and Belkin.
Oh, on the way out, did I see that halfling bottle of booze that they were drinking anywhere?
You do see a bottle on the bar. Make a perception. Make a perception check,
Sure, absolutely.
as there's a number of things transpiring currently.
Yeah, absolutely. Natural 20, 23.
You do see a bottle on the bar, and it's labeled Halfling Sweat.
Nice. I definitely recognize that bottle. I would definitely recognize it.
And Alokian rushes outside with you in his arm, or on his shoulder, or however he's carrying you.
Oh, football style. Hey, football.
Football
yeah.
style? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Underneath the
Yep.
arm.
Yep.
Charging through the door. You can see to the left where the caravan was outside of the building. The entire front of the caravan shattered and destroyed. You see the cage that was in the back of the caravan probably
Oh,
knocked
goodness.
away about 15 feet from where it was inside the caravan. You see Liv Shauna still within the cage, kind of on the ground, getting up. About half of her face, you see splinters and char from the flames and fire. Most of her right shoulder and body burned. You also see the front of the caravan as it's splintered and shattered, charred and burned. It's still flames smoldering. You see a body on the ground near the road, and a large four-legged quadruped creature over the corpse, ripping flesh from the throat and shoulder. We'll go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, actually, it is
My
11.
skull, my
It's
grass.
11:42.
Mhm.
No.
I think we need to
Pick up
call
here.
it for tonight.
That's fair. That's fair.
And next time, we'll get into what's transpired here.
Craziness.
So, with that, we'll go ahead and say goodnight to everybody out in the stream. Thank you for
Good
joining
night.
us for this evening, and we'll hope to see you next time on Monday. Good night, everyone.